Dead in Hip Hop album review, the Step Brothers, Lord Steppington. You could tell, like, just musically, it's like Alchemist makes the beats for Evidence. Like, and it's like almost every one of these beats were made for Evidence in mind. Like, it was just perfect. No Hesitation was my favorite joint on this. Why? Because
that's your boy on it.
Styles killed it. Styles killed it. But I think mainly it just caught me by surprise because I'm listening to this in the car. And all of a sudden I hear this bass. I'm like, what the fuck? And it just started beating. I'm like, okay, I like it. And then the way Evidence just comes in there flowing. And there's just a thing to Alchemist beats where he obviously, you know where he was influenced from and everything. If you haven't watch the interview on Dead in Hip Hop. And there's just a certain type of bounce that I can do on Alchemist beat that is not many producers that can.
Was that the bounce?
A little bit. It was a little baby bounce. You know, I didn't. You know, I'm not in the car. I'm not listening to it right now, so I can't give you the whole bounce. Action Bronson killed Mums in the Garage. That was probably my second favorite joint on this one. Evidence is definitely my favorite slow flow artist out there. I got what I wanted. It's kind of like with Fonte. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're gonna get if Fonte and Knife want to get together. But it's not gonna be bad. And it just fills that void. And it's not nothing new. But you know, I fuck with it. I definitely fuck with it. I
like the chemistry that they had with each other. I like the sequencing of the project because I think, you know, if I'm not mistaken, these are just songs that they recorded over some years. And they just kind of took them and just kind of really put them all together. And for them to not record that in like one setting or one session or whatever, I think that the way this sounds and for it to come together like this, I thought was really impressive for me because you just never kind of know when you just do a song here and then you walk away and then you come back, you do another song, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that was impressive, just the consistency of it as a whole. I thought the features were great. I liked Byron G. I thought that was dope. I like Damo on that. I thought Legendary Mesh was good. Dr. Kimball was good. You know, what is that? I think that's the one we got to move these TVs or something like that, refrigerator and shit.
Move these TVs.
Yeah, that shit was dope, man. I did like No Hesitation. I thought that was cool. Bangin' Sound was another one that I liked too, man. It was good to hear Fashawn, man.
Yeah, Fashawn, he was back.
Euphemisms and shit.
He was back on that shit, man.
Was that the one when he was talking about Theophilus Lips?
Yep, that's a joke. Yep, that's a joke.
Yeah, that shit was funny, but
leave him alone.
What'd you think about the skits? About the Lord skits?
I think the skits was a good way to break it up. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't, you know, you're not listening to one boom bap trap or whatever over and over again. I think it broke up the album, so you know it doesn't pull you into this lull. So yeah, I thought the skits were cool, man. I definitely like the Kanye skit. I thought that was funny.
Was that actually Kanye though?
Yeah, I thought that was.
I thought it was actually Kanye.
Yeah, that was Kanye.
Because at first I was like, oh, that's funny how they made it sound like Kanye saying something stupid and assholish.
No,
but then it's really Kanye saying something stupid.
You can't make Kanye sound stupid and assholish. Kanye can make it.
That was really Kanye.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I thought this was good, man. I think the more and more I played it, the more and more I enjoyed it because I think the beats started to stand out a little bit more on their own. When I first played it the first time, you know, it was just like boom bap. And then as I played it, you know, I was like, okay, this beat is different here. This see the rich man play. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, man. So, and I like what Roc and Ev did with see the rich man play. How they just dropped out and they let the chorus hit and then they came back in. So I thought that was cool. This was a good project. This was definitely a good project.
Yeah,
so.
I've been anticipating this project since the platform, and you know, I think that's why they had those skits. It's kind of like to show you how cool and how silly they can be by them two being together. So I think the skits mesh well. But I think from the get-go, from More Wins to the last joint, man, I think I really enjoyed this project, man. I thought the features, everybody held their own, from Action Bronson to Roc Marciano to I think Fashawn. That was one of my probably standout favorite features on this project. Evidence was great. He didn't give me the cats and dogs evidence that I was anticipating. But I think he was like a little bit held back. I thought Alchemist actually did a good job, you know, rhyming throughout this project. Yeah. Alchemist, since the Gang Green project, I thought Alchemist really he showed his ass on the MC skills on this project. My favorite joint on this, man, is Swim Team Rosters. I think that joint, those three beat change ups that Alchemist did on there was fucking insane, man.
That was the My Mama.
I think that was the skit in the
Sitting by the fire. Was that song? Wasn't it?
Yeah, sitting by the.
That was so funny. Evidence doing that.
Yeah, I was like, that shit was crazy. Hey.
It's so weird.
And then the beat just switched up. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, the 3 beat switch ups on that joint was so crazy because it was like 3 different energies and all in one song that Alchemist gave us. So I thought that was crazy. That was easily my favorite song on there. I thought, like I said, they came in and they killed this shit, man. They didn't take no prisoners on this album. I thought, of course, the chemistry, and I said this in the Cats and Dogs review, just give me an Alchemist and Evidence project. Just give me a whole Alchemist and Evidence project. I'll be happy. And they did exactly what I expected them to do. I kind of agree with FIFO. You know, they didn't do nothing like super amazing and wow you or whatever like that or anything out of their comfort zone. They stuck with what they did, and that's fucking dope beats, dope rhymes, and great features. Everybody, like I said, everybody did a good. Action Bronson did his thing on his feature. Styles P, I love that string that on that Styles P joint, No Hesitation. That shit was dope. Overall, I loved it. I loved this project from the beginning to the end. It was the only skippable track I think I can say that was skippable. Not really skippable, but my least favorite was Step Masters. I ain't really like Step Masters that much.
You can almost hear Alchemist as
Step
a rapper.
Masters. I didn't like that joint as a whole. But other than that, I love this project. I love it.
This is exactly what I expected this album to sound like. And when I think of this album, like, it just makes me think of hip hop. Like, this is like hip hop in its purest. Like, it's just beats, rhymes, dudes spitting. Like, I was also thinking, I remember on the Mac Miller review we had, I was saying that if somebody threw Mac Miller on in the background of a party, like, that would just be cool. This is what I would kind of rather hear in the background of a party, because I like how, like you guys said, they got together and they just put together an album that is not meant to be taken too seriously. You don't have to think too hard with the lyrics. They're not giving you all these crazy metaphors. They're just rhyming. I'm still weird about Alchemist on a mic. He's dope on a mic, but it's just, I'm like you. When I think Alchemist, I'm always just like producer. So it's just weird hearing him rhyme, especially, I'll say this, especially since we met him, and he's such like a laid back, cool dude. So when I'm listening to the album, I can't see him saying that stuff. It's just so weird.
And then his voice is deeper.
His voice is deep, yeah.
He sounded, as an MC, he sounded so much different, I thought.
He sounds totally different. I actually liked, when this first started, I was worried because with more wins, I didn't know if I was going to like the project. Because I like the dirtier Alchemist beats more than I like those really epic sounding beats. So like, when More Winds came on, I was just like, it's alright, but I don't know about this. But when Dr. Kimball came on, I was like, oh shit, here we go. Now we're talking. But it was like all the songs that were like I didn't really care for No Hesitation that much. Only because I didn't really dig the production like that. The only song that had that epic style production that I did like was Swim Team Rastas. My favorite song, I think you said this, my favorite song was also Bangin' Sound with Fashawn. Not really because of Fashawn, I just dug that beat. That off-kilter, off-time beat, I thought was fresh. What was funny was, I knew Roc Marciano was on this album, so when I was listening to it, the second it got to See a Rich Man Play, I was like, I bet you Roc's on this track, because it sounds like a beat that he would go over. It was that slow as shit beat. I was like, this has to be. I looked and I was like, yep, here come Roc Marciano. But yeah, this was a good album. This is pretty much what I expected Alchemist and Evidence to give me. You were saying that Evidence didn't give you the Cats and Dogs Evidence, and I think that's because this wasn't supposed to be that kind of album. Cats and Dogs was a more serious album. This was just two friends in a studio with beats, spitting. And these guys, they have excellent chemistry together. They don't sound the same. There's that great conflict there between their voices and their flows. There's another great thing about this album is it flows really well. Even the songs that had those beats that I didn't particularly care for, they weren't bad songs. They still flowed very well with this without sounding samey, which was an issue that I had with the Roc project. This is the way to make an album sound cohesive without sounding too samey. So yeah, overall, I thought it was dope.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the review, you know, Step Brothers, that's the best way to describe these two guys. You know, they done grew up together, and like Ken said, you know, there's an undeniable chemistry there. As soon as you put it on, you can tell, like Alchemist knows Evidence intimately in terms of, musically, like, yo, like, this is an Evidence track right here. He's gonna murk this. Like, he knows, you know what I'm saying? And whenever you have a best friend and you guys have the same hobby, you know what I'm saying, you have the same passion for it, you work well together. You could definitely tell that Alchemist and Evidence, they've been together for years. Beginning to end, I bang with this project. It's definitely, I'm definitely bumping this in the whip hard right now. And overall, man, the project is dope. Dope beats, dope rhymes. Like Mike said, man, this is hip hop.
Go buy this album, man. I think everybody should should definitely go buy this album and support this project. Like B said earlier, man, he's been asking for an Alchemist Evidence album for a minute. And oftentimes nowadays we have these dream, pairings that we want to, see put out a project. And how many times does it not happen? Yeah. So now all of a sudden, you have a chance to get that with this project. So, go out and support it. These guys, they get in the studio, they have fun, they're great friends, they took it light, and they just got in and they just wanted to put out what they've been doing. Just because they like fucking hip hop. You know what I'm saying? They just in the studio just fucking, recording. And then they finally got together and said, let's put it out. And people have been waiting for it. It's here. Go buy it and support it, man. And that's all I gotta say, man. It's a dope project, man. So, people should get behind it.
Even, and like I said, they didn't do nothing out of the ordinary. They did exactly what I expected. Even the features, I'm glad they got the people to feature on this album and the MCs that they grabbed to feature. I'm glad they didn't go super left with the features. They got the people who I'm a fan of, who I love, and production was dope. I'm glad Evidence, Evidence sound, it's crazy. Alchemist been killing shit for the last like 2-3 years, man. I'm glad, you got Evidence who can cater to his beats so well, man. And that's why these two mesh so well, and that's why they made a good album. So support them, check it out. CA, California in the house. That's it.
What's cool about this is, like I was saying earlier, when I think of hip hop, like, this is just a hip-hop album. It doesn't sound dated or old or anything, but it almost takes me back to those old school raucous days where it's just a fresh underground hip-hop album. That's what this sounds like. And it's cool that Evidence, from working with G-Unit and working with Shady and all this other shit, that he can still go back and do a project like this and do it well. These guys, they gave you a solid hip-hop project, and that's it. Pick it up.